passion, process, and pride. At Chrysler, that translates into customer focus, inspired people, and continuous improvement. There isn't a company more committed to these values than Chrysler. The cars and trucks we're building today are a reflection of this. In the next few minutes, you'll see some of the key tests of the hundreds of inspections every vehicle we build must pass through. These steps are tied together by one basic goal: total customer satisfaction. You'll also meet a few of the people who, through their personal dedication to this goal, are working to make Chrysler the world's premier automotive company. These people are just a few of the thousands of Chrysler workers who are helping to take us higher than we've ever been before. Likewise, the processes we'll be highlighting for you are not just happening at one plant, they're part of every Chrysler assembly operation. Put it all together, and we think you'll agree that to us, nothing is more important than quality. We invite you to watch and see for yourself.
At every Chrysler assembly plant, the quality assurance process begins right here in the body shop. It is very critical for us to have a sound foundation for the rest of the assembly processes. And if I can liken this to building a home, it's like putting your foundation in your home. You need to have a very good foundation in order for the rest of the house to come up properly.
To ensure that the foundation of each vehicle has been assembled precisely, a series of online laser measurement inspections is conducted throughout the welding process. This step is called perceptron laser checking, named after the sophisticated equipment employed here.
This is the perceptron vision system. What it does is it shoots a laser at critical points of the body determined by engineers when they design the product. If perceptron finds a dimensional inconsistency with a vehicle when it takes a picture, what it does is it stops in cycle or stops a line and sends off an alarm. When that alarm occurs, everybody in the quality department gets a beep on their beeper, and what that beeper does is it tells you the VIN number and the date that that vehicle went through the perceptron. We come down, we verify that there was a dimensional inconsistency, and we pull that vehicle and repair whatever inconsistency had occurred. Under no circumstances do we let a vehicle that did not meet the stringent quality standards set here at Chrysler by our engineering department get through to our customer. We prove this out by randomly selecting vehicles that have come through all the perceptron systems that we take into the CMM room and measure it using our coordinate measurement machine. We'll take you there now. Explain to me some of the processes that we go through here with the CMM machine.
We run a variety of programs, Brad. Some of these points verify and correlate the perceptron vision system on the line. Some of these help with our quality audit, and some are used for engineering to help define and trace down root causes of the problems.
Root cause, I mean, so if I'm an engineer and I have a quality problem, you automatically recognize it by the measurements that this takes. We root cause, in other words, we find the starting point of that problem and we correct it.
That's true, Brad. We do this 24 hours a day. There's not any specific time involved. It's ongoing, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day to help Chrysler's retain #1 quality rating.
The reports that we put out here at Chrysler, the engineer can take that report and have an instant snapshot of, say, the last 10 cars, or?
You can have 10 cars, you can have 25 cars, you can have 50 cars. Whatever it takes to find and correct, that is exactly what we provide.
Quality, I think it's great. How have you seen it improve over the years?
Well, Brad, I've been with Chrysler over 32 years. The improvement has been constant, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There's not a product leaves this room I would not want to buy. There's not a product leaves this room I wouldn't want to be personally associated with. I take pride in performance, same as the other people in the CMM room, and I'm sure it's spread to all the other Chrysler plants also.
For my many years of experience, I know that we are building a better vehicle here in the body shop. In past years, we used to rely on the assembly process to feed back information on the build issues that were reaching them. Now we are becoming very proactive. Our technology allows us to identify the potential build issues right here in the body shop.
The paint department brings together a state-of-the-art process and a team of dedicated individuals to produce a level of quality that has become the envy of the auto industry. The paint process itself begins with a phosphate and uniprime system. This initial process cleans the body and applies a rust inhibitor. The vehicle then goes through an oven and up to the sealer deck where it is sanded, sealed, and prepped. The powder booth is next, which helps make the paint more resistant to chipping. Following this, it is sanded once more to eliminate any defects and enters the spray booth. The entire process culminates here, the paint inspection deck.
It comes here, we have inspectors on the line itself that will identify the defects, they'll polish, sand, and then we have pickup people that will enhance the product. It gets down to this station right here, which is the scheduling station. If it's an OK unit, it goes north to trim. If it's a repair unit, it goes into reprocess. Once it goes into reprocess, it goes through the system, a very similar system where the defect's corrected, and then we have 2 more inspectors to inspect it once it comes out of the oven to verify that the procedure is to process.
Paint consistency is appraised with this device, the spectrophotometer. As it is placed on the vehicle body, it measures the spectrum of rainbow colors in the final paint coating. The snapshot recorded by this device tells the inspector whether or not the paint selection has the perfect balance of these colors.
Each particular panel on that car, somebody owns it. Somebody is responsible for that, inspecting and repairing that. Before we went to this process, it was like we had 2 or 3 people per car, and the accountability wasn't there. It's there now. We know who owns that piece of car to inspect and repair, and we think it's a much better product leaving P16 because of that.
I feel personally responsible for quality because when I correct the defects, my name goes on the card when it goes downstairs, and so that way I'm directly responsible for quality, and I feel responsible to the buyer when he gets the car. If he's not happy, then I'm not happy. And quality is directly related to sales. I mean, if you sacrifice quality, then you sacrifice the sales. We're all responsible for that.
After the instrument panel is installed, each vehicle goes through the first of a series of hot car tests. The purpose of these tests is to continually ensure that each vehicle proceeding down the line is free of electrical defects.
Right now I'm connecting up the power from the carrier to the car. Now I'm turning on the interior lamps, make sure they're working. And then I'm going to check the power mirrors if the car is equipped with it. And check the heater blower and defrost, make sure it's working. And I check the instrument lights and the odometer and the radio especially. And it's good. I know that it's up to me to make the good car. And they can design a good car, but it's us who put it together. We have to put it together right. And just knowing that motivates me to do a good job.
Now fully assembled, each vehicle must pass through the Huntsville inspection, named after Huntsville, Alabama, where the computer equipment used to perform this inspection was built.
This Huntsville tests the electrical system of the car, every electrical component in it, including the air conditioning unit. It tells me, as I'm going through, if there are any defaults or any electrical connections not made. First thing the computer asks you if the radio works. You tell it yes, AM, FM, and 4 speakers all work. It asks you if the console lamps work. They all work. Right now it's going through the air conditioning check. A lot of the things that we're checking are put on the vehicle 4 hours ago. It takes 4 hours before it gets to us. Asking me now to check the park brake to make sure it works, and it works. Reading lamps work overhead. Rear wiper works in this car. Before, it was a more random check of the vehicle, not as computerized. This computerized system makes a big difference. It's very hard to miss a flaw now. These items come up on the screen, tells the operator which one to put on, and as you put them on, it tells itself it's working. I verify it by pushing the green button. The purpose of this check is to check all the doors to make sure that the door ajar switch works. Same thing here, check the sliding door. Make sure the door ajar works. Right front door. Walk back to the front. As you're going by, you take a look down at the headlights, make sure they're on. And another perfect vehicle. All electrical systems work 100%. That's it.
This is the final inspection area. It's the last opportunity to take a real critical look at the vehicle before it goes through the certification process and goes out to the customer. We have a tremendous amount of validators in every zone, from trim, chassis, including final car. We have inspectors. We have 7 inspectors on this final line itself. They take a very hard, critical look at the car. Quality to me is the most important aspect of all of this. It's the part that will ensure the customers will come back and we'll keep our jobs long term. It's a one-to-one relationship.
After being approved by the final car inspectors, each vehicle is brought here, the Rolls Test Bay. The series of key diagnostic tests conducted here measure both performance and safety. The vehicle must pass each test successfully before it can go any farther.
First test is transmission. We go through all the gears, make sure the transmission works properly. At this time, the machine checks the emission control, make sure that all the emission sensors are working properly, and the ABS brake sensors are working properly. And now we check the brakes, so that the car brakes properly down from 55 miles an hour. We're all personally responsible. For the whole job that I do, I am personally responsible. Somebody out there is going to buy a car and I say, this is what I do the Rolls drive. And well, he's going to come around and say, well, your transmission doesn't work properly. That's part of my, my job. And if it doesn't work properly, that it reflects on me on what kind of work I do.
A front-end alignment is performed on every vehicle before it leaves the plant. As a vehicle pulls into the alignment bay, an overhead laser sensor reads the VIN number. With this information, the computerized alignment system knows whether to set itself up for a long wheelbase vehicle or a short one. The steering wheel is then centered using a leveling fixture and the guide information on the computer screen. Below, another worker performs the alignment, making adjustments until the proper setting is indicated by the computer. Finally, the headlights are adjusted to obtain the correct vertical aim.
Ultimately, it gets here to the validation area where we have 2 different types of testing. We have static testing where inspectors walk around the vehicle, look at the interior trim, look at the outside of the vehicle, look at all the attaching parts, look at the paint finish to ensure that we meet all our standards. The other test that we have is a BSR, which stands for bust, squeak, and rattle.
After cornering over a series of steel ties, the vehicle goes through an enclosed pathway which simulates tunnel driving. This amplifies all underbody noises, enabling the driver to better detect any sounds that shouldn't be heard.
And this is where we get our bumps, squeaks, and rattles when we're going through the track right now. We'll go through about 5 kilometers an hour. In other words, let it idle through. Now, if everything's fine right now, you won't hear anything. Which sounds pretty good. Well, since I've been here, I've been driving in the BSR up here for about 3 years. I've been at Chrysler's 28.5 years. I think the quality up here is 100% better than when I first started, because you've got so many people dedicated around here that's working towards the quality. When you buy a car, you want to make sure that that car is very good. And I look at every car as if it was my own as I'm going through here and try to rate it as if it was my own. It's important to me because it's a future for all our jobs and our families, and to make sure that you're working and you know that we got a job to come to the next day. I think all the drivers up here all feel the same way. Everybody seems to be dedicated and everybody's working towards that goal.
If a vehicle does not meet the driver's expectations, it is held back and thoroughly inspected to determine the problem. Once the problem is repaired, the vehicle is retested and, if performing properly, allowed to move on. Occasionally, however, locating the source of a noise problem may require the use of this facility, the BSR lab. Equipped with a 4-post shaker, this lab can recreate a variety of strenuous driving conditions. By taking the vehicle through a series of these conditions, the BSR lab inspector can recreate the sound heard by the test track driver. The source of the sound can then be more easily located. This area is also used to conduct random inspections of vehicles coming off the line. Here, the inspector performs a static test in which he carefully looks at how vehicle components such as turn signals, power mirrors, and door locks are functioning. The engine compartment is inspected. Opening and closing efforts of all doors are checked, and fit is closely examined. Next, the shaker is activated and the vehicle is taken through 10 road profiles. Any problems found here are documented and the appropriate plant departments are held accountable for improving the situation. This process of random testing and sending feedback to the plant occurs at every Chrysler assembly facility, further driving continuous improvement.
I look at this job like a customer going through a vehicle. You know, so if I find something wrong, I make sure it's written up and repaired.
This area is a water test area. It's a 3-minute full submersion by the vehicles where they get sprayed by approximately about 180 nozzles. We check the vehicle, we check it for dimensional as well as fit, seal, and integrity. If there's a problem, what we do is we have a technician which pulls it to the side, analyzes what the problems are. If it's a minor problem, he takes care of it. Otherwise, the vehicle is sent to another staging area for further examination. Once it's reprocessed, we retest it prior to shipping once more. The job I do is very satisfactory because I deal with fixing problems, getting the quality of the vehicle up. I thoroughly involved with that every day. We have a lot of weekly reviews, daily reviews on quality. We know that you're having an impact on improving the vehicle, which is job security for us, and that makes me feel pretty good.
In addition to the procedures you've just seen, all Chrysler assembly facilities perform numerous random quality audits every day. These audits are composed of 2 parts. The first, the Customer Satisfaction Audit, CSA for short. This audit looks at the vehicle from a customer's point of view. Lasting about 45 minutes, it consists of a 25-mile road test in which noise conditions are assessed, a water test during which 30 pounds of pressure are placed on the vehicle for 5 minutes, a functional test that searches for vehicle fault codes, a fit and finish inspection, and an electrical test. The second component of the quality analysis performed is the spec audit.
Now this is the portion of the audit where we actually fine-tune the vehicle. We have specifications that we go by, measurements that we do, we fine-tune the fits, we fine-tune everything that is engineered to the product. And when we do a spec, we actually take the vehicle, we put it over here on a hoist, we lift it up, we check for tires, we check the wheels, we check the struts, we check the underbody, completely check the underbody and make sure everything's put together. The other part of spec is also called an EIA audit, which means an electrical integrity audit. This audit is we take a vehicle and take all the door panels off. We look for wires, we look at wire routing, quickly look at that, and make sure everything is in its proper place. And we write up the plant. If we find anything that's a non-conformance, we write it up. We write it up to the plant, and the plant reacts. We have a weekly meeting. We take all the spec data, which is 30 cars for spec, and let's see, 40 cars on electrical for a week's worth of work. We take that data, and we have a weekly meeting. And of those, we take maybe the top 6 or 8 items. We put them on a chart. We have people come down, they go through their items, spec items, and they tell us what they're going to do to improve it. and engineering is here. Everybody from the plant that has anything to do with it is here. For us, it's a way of fine-tuning the vehicle to meet our goal. And our goal here is zero. That's our goal. It's not, you know, as far as this job, it's zero to make the customer happy. That is really the important thing with us, is to get that repeat buyer, to get you to come back and say, hey, I like this one, I want to buy another one.
I feel great about my personal achievements each and every day because I know that I put 150% into building a quality vehicle and performing my role in this organization.
In order to be successful, we have to put quality ahead of everything else.
I take great pride in knowing that every day that I'm assured that a good, clean car is leaving this balcony and going to my next customer.
Proud to say I stand at the end of this line.
I'm not afraid to say that I'm a Rolls driver, simply because I know that I've done a good job today.
I think just knowing that our future is secure with a good quality vehicle is important.
I'm sure you'll agree with me. Our assembly plants are radically different from their equivalents only a decade ago. Gone are the untidy sprawls of production lines, the dim lighting, and the backed-up inspection and defect correction areas. Today's Chrysler assembly plants are in every respect world-class. And what we have shown you here is the proof. The quality assurance standards, the tests and the inspections you have seen, rank with the most rigorous and the best in the world. Whether you walk into Bramalea or Belvedere, Windsor or Warren, what you see today, the robotics, the computer integrated systems, the statistical process controls, the artificial intelligence and the machine vision systems. Many of these didn't even exist 5 or 10 years ago. Since 1991, we as a corporation have invested $9 billion in revamping our plants. We've poured millions of dollars in developing new quality control procedures and technologies and into communication systems that let assembly plants relay quality improvement issues. And under Dennis Pauly's direction, we've implemented close to 2,000 quality workshops for our employees since 1994. Nobody can say we haven't been busy. Likewise, nobody can say we don't have the best workers in the industry. Our people and their enthusiasm are an integral part of what makes us successful and different from any other car company. What you've just seen are a few of the people who are working very hard for you to make us all more successful. It is their pride and their passion to being world-class that ensures the cars and trucks we're building today are better than ever. It is their professionalism and commitment to continually improve that ensures the high level of quality you and your customers can trust. It used to be that quality was the sole concern of designers and engineers. Well, not anymore. We've gone through profound change. Although we can take pride in the great strides we've made, no one is ever going to get to the point where we think we're there. We cannot afford to. Today at Chrysler, quality or the pursuit of continuous improvement is everyone's crusade. It's got to be. You know, it doesn't matter what survey or piece of research you study. The primary stuff of perceived quality always comes down to reputation. Its power comes from the unstated analogy that the quality of products today is similar to the quality of products yesterday. Our crusade is to break down that perception once and for all. Everything you just saw in that assembly plant, and for that matter every other Chrysler assembly plant in North America, is meant to minimize failure rates in the manufacturing and assembly process. Call it reliability manufacturing if you will. The bottom line is that every vehicle we build must meet the rigorous scrutiny of our quality inspection and testing systems or we don't ship it to you. That's our commitment. In the final analysis, I'd like to personally urge each and every one of you to join this crusade and help break down the existing perceptions about product quality. We talk about being world-class, being the best, premier, but that's not enough. We've got to walk the walk. That means re-examining our practices and the ways we respond to customer feedback. It means taking pride in the products we sell and putting our trust in them. It means delivering each and every new vehicle in excellent condition. It means listening to each customer and meeting their needs the first time. I urge you, the next time you respond to a customer, or you perform a routine PDI, or the next time you fill out a warranty claim or a customer repair order, I urge you to remember just how far we've come. Because the reality is, Chrysler products measure up with the best of them. We are counting on everyone to represent Chrysler, your dealership, and yourself with pride. Not overconfidence, but genuine Chrysler pride, which shows how much you care for doing your best each and every time, no matter what your job, it's important. Thank you, and good luck.